There was a BBC, I think it was, a fiction show in the UK called Ghost Hunters, and a somewhat well-known YouTuber did a very good video discussing a very special episode of Ghost Hunters about how even though the network kept pressing over and over it was a fiction show, that it was all made up. It was just a TV episode, nothing more. Something kind of went a little bit wrong, and they didn't, for whatever reason, air the cards and the audio saying, this is a fiction show, this is not real, it's fiction, it's just a story. The episode aired, and people took it seriously. That actually happens a few times. War of the Worlds is a good example of some fiction piece on media that people took very, very seriously, and they thought it was for real, even though the network is going, no, it's fiction, it's fiction. It just goes to show how deeply programmed all of us can be. I know that when I was in early preschool and kindergarten, I remember what I saw, what I perceived, and I really knew that the Statue of Liberty was a guy. I knew the Statue of Liberty was a dude. And I remember all of the teenage boys that were using she, her pronouns, but they had long hair, they had boobs for some reason, and I was supposed to call them ma'am. Everyone called them she, her, but I knew in my heart that they were boys. And I remember the bearded women. I remember that from my early childhood. And I guess after just being conditioned and being programmed, I forced myself to comply to avoid being yelled at, because you know how it is when you don't use someone's preferred pronouns and they go ballistic at you. Children are conditioned through fear, and just being given so much grief for not going along with what the people on TV or their teachers or parents and family or so-called authority figures kept saying, and we just end up caving in and complying, no matter how insane their demands are. So eventually, after some point in elementary school, my mind was no longer my own. I was forcing myself to change my perceptions, to tell myself that I was wrong. It's hard to put into words right now, but maybe some other time I'll have a better way to put it. Illusion magic is real, and it takes place in your head. They get you to cast a spell on yourself, to make yourself not trust your eyes, not trust your ears. They make you ignore things. If you complain about something you don't like, they yell at you. You get punished for having opinions. You get punished for having perceptions. You're surrounded by liars that want you to turn into a robot, basically. As a side note, 4 years ago, I had a couple series of odd dreams. Maybe it was 5 years ago. I remember them. I remember the emotions in them. One of them, I dreamed that a person I knew in real life, one of my classmates, was a pod person. Of course, today I know that most people are pod people, and I don't know why my dream highlighted only one single person when it was really 99% of people that were fake. In real life even, yeah. They're everywhere. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, They Live. You see, They Live only tells you some of the truth. It's not 10% of the people you see that are freaks. It is 90%. And there's always one tell or another. They'd let you know who they are. So there's various ways to identify them, from the things they do to the things you see on them. But that's for you to figure out. And the other dream I had was, I remembered that I was in this crowd of thousands of people walking around like robots, and I realized that they were all fake people. They were robots, and I was so alone and sad. Just one person in a sea of over 1,000 robots walking around, and I was really depressed even after I woke up. And this was 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't know what it meant at the time, but now I know that even my dream was somewhat downplaying what the situation in real life was. Kind of already forgot what the original point was, but I guess this is just me rambling for no reason.